Well, that didn't work. I knew not to use the busted bag for the first attempt, but I did it anyway. Only 2 more to go. Well, I did it. That took way longer, way more effort than it should have. I just cannot get a system with this cable to work, in large part due to the fact that it's just I have no way to get it taut. It was already sagging when I tried to hang it, but it's dangling even more. That's all I can say. But anyway, I tried a number of different ideas of ways to get things down here. The cable did help. I didn't have to bear the weight of every single thing I took down. I was able to take multiple boards at one time, except for that last one. but it's still tiring going up and down, back and forth on this slope. But anyway, we got all the materials to the work site. Well, here's the job site. There's 4 of our boards. There's the other 4. There's our gravel. Well, that's one good thing, is our 8-foot cross sections are all meeting up, at least with the centers of the holes, maybe even a little more. It's not perfect if that's the case, but at this point I'll take what I can get. What I'm trying to figure out now is if I should wait until I have the concrete before I put the gravel in, because I don't want to put the gravel in and then anything happen where sediment washes down into it and kind of messes up my gravel. I feel like it would be better to do it all fresh. I think I might call it a day here, unfortunately. I don't really want to, but I'm tired and I don't want to push myself too hard today. Speaking of which, yesterday I went and got the first dose of the you-know-what. And as such, I don't know if it's a good idea to push myself too hard today. I've already kind of pushed it as it is, running up and down the slope here, getting pissed off and frustrated and having all my efforts undone on me and whatnot. So I think I'll call it there, and hopefully I'll fill up to it. We'll come back out tomorrow. Maybe I'll go ahead and get the concrete and we'll get this underway. Sound good? Ugh. Not quite 6 inches, but I'm gonna say that's enough. So this is probably not the most sophisticated way to do this, but this is what we're going to try, because I don't have any screws or anything to do like a proper thing, and right now I just want to get the boards cut to length, and I need an anchor for my string line. Well, one thing I can say for certain, my cutting skills are not up to par. Close enough, I hope. So what I'm trying to do, even though it actually is probably not working in my favor due to my very novice skills at cutting lumber, is put the cut sides up. Just in case, you know, sometimes, you know, they say the treatment doesn't get all the way to the core of the board. I can't really tell, honestly, with this one. I've seen some where it looks really obvious, but with this, I don't know. Maybe because it's not dry enough. But anyway, the idea is to keep as much of the treated portions, the treated exteriors, in the ground. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm running into a little bit of an issue here where when I measure the string line up to the block, I'm getting about 27.5 inches. And when I measure it just using the tape, I'm getting like 28.5 inches. It's hard because I don't have the blocks leveled. Maybe I should focus on doing that for a moment. So another thing I've discovered is that I'm not exactly 12 feet from each post. I don't think that's going to be a tremendous issue because the main platform, as I've said, is 8 by 8, and then it's going to have a 4-foot deck on, at least on the bottom level, so that's the end that would be hanging off, assuming I can't make up those few inches. I got like 11'7", I think. So if there's no way to make up those 5 inches, then I think it would probably be okay just having that hang off of the main platform here, and then if I wanted to, I could brace it with something else after the fact. So that's something I got to keep in mind, but I think we're close enough where I don't have to redo any of the footing holes. So the issue I'm having right now is I don't have anything to properly brace these boards. I was gonna order some, but I don't know. I'm trying to cut too many corners, in particular in favor of budget. Like, I'm trying to save money any way I can, so that's one of the reasons I'm kind of eyeballing things instead of doing it the way I should be doing it. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here. But I have the concrete ordered. I just got to go pick it up. And I feel like that's, without any proper bracing and stuff, that's probably what I'm just gonna have to do, is go pick up the concrete and get a couple bags over here and solidify at least this one post and kind of have this be my primary corner where everything else be measured afterward. So we'll see. I'll give it a little bit of thought before I make any hasty decisions, but I gotta go get that stuff anyway, so we'll see what happens. Alright, there's the concrete. As far as I can tell, our post is level and everything is set. Even my rudimentary thingamajig here. Now the only thing is, I don't know if it's perfectly centered. The way the slope is makes it look kind of off. I'll have to make sure I measure that real quick before I put any water in it. But this is the fast setting concrete, where you don't have to mix it or anything, you just pour water on it, and it's supposed to be, I think, about 1 gallon per bag. So I currently have 3 gallons of some water here, and depending on what kind of progress I can make today, I'll have to go get more water, but otherwise we have enough. I wanted to get at least, if I can, I'd like to go ahead and pour a bag per hole. Obviously this one's gonna need some more, I'm sure other ones will as well, but if we can get these first bags in and get them set, then I'll feel pretty good about that, maybe, till I realize a mistake after it's done. Okay, something where that's set, then right about 8 feet. Pretty good. Pretty good enough. I'm gonna try, I think, to see if I can go ahead and do this other corner here. It's a bit tricky, but that's the only thing I can really think to do. If I can get this corner, and then I can use those as like a measurement. Like one idea I did think about doing was cutting the boards in half, sticking them in. I could actually set the post, concrete them and everything, and then cut to length afterwards. The only problem with that is I am really bad with the saw right now because I'm really new to it, and I don't know if I trust myself to get it right. And then with these down here, I need these in place in order to, you know, tell what length I need and stuff. So it would be a lot better to be able to cut them to length and then post them. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it, trying to figure out the best way to do it. I did put my line down here, as you may have seen, to give myself some kind of a guide. It's not a perfect guide by any means. And then I'll probably be doing kind of like what I did before with the measuring tape to help give me a bit of like a straight angle to see where I need to put the post. Let's hope it all works out, because if not, this is going to be one shoddy looking building. It's not giving me much hope for the rest of the project. There's enough hurdles I already anticipate without my novice abilities and shortcomings. Alright, so what I did is I went ahead and leveled this other one. Gotta double check it if it's good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the concrete in and wet it down, and both of these are pushing on this string line, making it tight, so that should mean that whatever goes here will go right against the string line. So if I can get these set, then that should be good. I can measure, hopefully set what level needs to be to meet up with these two, and then cut this one and it'll be good to go as well. This has got to be the most cringeworthy ass backwards way of doing this. So I didn't actually pour the whole gallon of water into that one. I don't know if I will for this one either. I don't know. I don't know if too much water is worse or too little water is worse. So the idea that I'm trying here is if I can measure where the string line comes up to here, hopefully the string line is about even, so I can see how far up off of the string line that comes, and then that would tell me how high this pier needs to be, right? Of course, I'm relying on my very kind of, I don't know, it's fairly tight, but you know, I'm relying on that to tell me, and I don't know, man. This one seemed to soak up the water faster than that one, so that's interesting. So I went ahead and took that little piece of scrap board that I had and cut it to length just to see how it would work, and it actually is almost perfect in terms of how easily that was to put in place. I put it down in the hole and let go of it and it just stood up. It wasn't level, but it just stood up on its own. It was like way less trouble than the rest of these. So I ran my string line across the top and I tried to measure, and I think what I got is about 27 5/8. So that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna maybe double check my measurements and everything, but that should be what we need, and hopefully we'll be more or less level except for my cuts, and we'll go from there. So I just went ahead and concreted that one in. It's not exact. I made a boo-boo where when I was leveling out the block, I wasn't paying attention to how it was going up against the string line. And so in order to get it level, I pushed against the string line. And that's one thing I really don't want to have, is like one of the stilts sticking out further than the others. And I'd already poured in the concrete. I didn't wet it. I did try to dig around and like loosen it up so that I could get the board to move, but it wasn't working. So what I opted to do instead is to line it up with the string line and shim it or do something later. What I also have noticed, I should have noticed this earlier, but I don't know, I had my mind on other things. This board on this corner is lower than that one. This is not level. So, like I said, I'll either be shimming these up to match that one, or I'll be trying to figure out what the common distance is, length, whatever, and trimming that one down. That one would be the preferable method to me. That way maybe if I'm a little better by then, I can clean up my cuts, and then also it'll be one solid board all the way across instead of little shims in there. I don't think that really matters, I guess, but either way, I think it will be fixable. The other issue is I went ahead to try and eyeball this one. I wanted to go ahead and put concrete in it, but I'm out of water and I'm running out of daylight, so I don't know if I should bother with that right now. But in order for this one to be level, it's not 8 feet. And my measurements were off about, like, I need it to be like right on the edge of this hole in order for it to come up and be able to hit 8 feet, and then it's not level. And it's all the way on the edge of the hole, so I need it to be over maybe 4 or 6 inches with my hole, I think. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. Like, I think it wouldn't be too terrible. I don't like the idea, and I don't think I'll do it, but you could possibly lean it so you get that 8 feet, and you'll be cutting the top of the board at kind of an angle. I could do that maybe if I added some extra bracing and stuff. I don't really want to. I'd much rather my blocks be level, especially, like I said, these corners, and especially on this end. I don't want it, like, it would have to be leaning this way towards the slope, and that just seems like a bad idea. So don't think I'll be doing that. So the question of what to do here, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I gotta give it some thought and see. Like, obviously I can just dig the hole out more. I would really rather not do that, because that means I have to dig all these other ones out. I would much rather find a way to get that to work. Obviously, you know, I think it probably wouldn't be that weird to just, like, what I'm planning on doing is, like, from all these posts, I'm gonna have beams to go all the way to each end. So two beams there, split on that block, 2 beams here, split on this middle block, and so you'll have like 2 beams, and then your framing will lay on those beams, and like you'll have your cross studs or whatever, not studs, joists. So what I could do is, like, it just won't be in edge to edge, like the 2x8 on the ends will be hanging off either side a bit, and that gives more support for the joist but less support for your ridge boards. So I gotta figure out what to do, or modify the size of the building and cut it down to actually fit the foundation that I've made here. Really, the right answer is to dig the holes out more, to get that exact measurement that I need. That's the right answer. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a day here, besides whatever I'm conjuring up in my head. And yeah, mistakes with Anxious. I mean, we went into this knowing that I would make mistakes. But yeah, we're figuring it out as we go along. Like, this is really helpful. So my battery's dying, so I might get cut off mid-conversation here. But this is really helpful to me, because I spend so much time in my head trying to figure out things and whatnot, and I just need to do it and, like, get the actual hands-on experience. So it sucks and it's frustrating, but I need this. I need to make these mistakes and to have this experience, because just sitting there in your head trying to, like, figure things out and whatnot is just, it's no fun, and you get in this repetitious cycle of just trying to figure out how to do things, and there's a lot of, like, stress involved with that, because you can't actually just do it and see what's happening. You have to just think about it and try to figure it all out. So yeah, I think it's worthwhile regardless, but I just hate that I'm having these problems. But it is what it is, man. we're gonna sort it out. I mean, one thing I could do is take extra beams. If this comes up short, then I can run beams this way, and then maybe also this way, and that would hopefully be the extra reinforcement that I would need in order to make all this work. I have to think about that. That seems like pretty much the only real option without just redigging the post holes, which, let's face it, that's really the solution. But do I want to avoid that solution? Do I want to do it the wrong way like always?